welcome to our first episode of The Mandy Show. Today we'll be discussing tech issues in the West Indies. And I do have some special guests with me today. We have Mia Belfont, a teenage counselor, Rihanna Warren, a victim of cyberbullying, and Ariel Church, who has committed an offense in cyberbullying. So do you guys know what is cyberbullying?
Yeah, actually, I have cyberbullied a couple friends in college. Yeah.
And I have been a victim of cyberbullying, and it was a horrible experience.
I've actually counseled several kids who have been cyberbullied, and cyberbullying is basically the bullying of people, whether it is via social media or using electronic devices.
Well, audience, you would be surprised, but there are many new encounters of cyberbullying in this day and age. Ariel, since you have already committed this crime, can you just enlighten me a bit about your encounter?
Sure. Well, actually, there was this one girl in my class, and she liked me. But at the time, I considered her to be a nerd. And come on, who likes nerd? So I went on, I took a picture of her because she was wearing a ridiculous yellow dress and probably like 6-inch heels. And everyone was laughing, so I took a picture, I placed it on Facebook. And by the end of the day, we had close to 600 likes and comments.
Wow. And Rihanna?
Well, being a victim of cyberbullying, I was very vulnerable, and it was a really low point in my life. I had low self-esteem, I lost all confidence. I became a homebug. I didn't want to go out much or have anything to do with anybody because it was actually done by people who I had considered to be my friends. So I just thought it was a really mean thing to do. I mean, if you have a problem with me, I would prefer if you come to me in person and say, hey, I don't like what you're doing or whatever. But to post that on my wall and have people commenting on it and prolonging it, it was not nice at all.
Okay. So, Mia, can you tell me a bit about what you know about cyberbullying then?
Well, Mandy, studies have shown that students such as Rihanna, who have been cyberbullied, they're also bullied while they are at school. So the struggle never ends for them. They're bullied at school, and when they come home, the struggle goes on and on. Then they can be bullied 24/7. And the thing about it is, a little bit of information can be spread to a vast amount of people in a short bit of time.
So, just tell me a bit, how are people doing this cyberbullying act?
Actually, in the past, I have used the computer, tablets, just about any electronic device that has access to the social media. That's basically what I use.
And people have been, like I mentioned before, posting on Facebook and in chats on these websites, tweets, text messages, that sort of a thing.
Okay. So Mia, just enlighten me about how people spread in terms of cyberbullying.
But I've seen some cases where, as Rihanna said, it was done on social media, via Facebook. Sometimes they can post pictures of people in compromising situations or situations that you would normally be comfortable with, relationship disputes, as Ariel said, people in embarrassing clothing, things like that. And it also can be forms of text messages, threatening messages, things like that. Email, chain messages, all of these mediums can be used to cyberbully individuals.
And Mia, who is usually bullied then?
Well, as we can see, Rihanna is a very popular young lady. She had a lot of friends and she was bullied by her own friends. And Ariel described the young lady as a nerd. So cyberbullying is not a respecter of persons. If I am caught in a compromising position, I could be cyberbullied, and even you yourself might be. So it's not a respecter of persons.
Well, Ariel, just describe to me how exactly you bullied your victims.
Um, this particular one that I remembered, it was raining very heavily a day, and there is this one guy who no one really likes in school. We don't, or I should say, we never used to sit close to him or try to engage in a conversation. He was just a bit difficult to get along with, I guess, because he came from a different island. And as it was raining heavily, he passed near a drain. he could not distinguish the drain from the road,
Mhm.
and he fell into the drain. I happened to take a short clipping of that. I posted it up on one of the social medias at the time, and there was a big uproar about it. Um, Apparently, 4 months after, this particular individual was affected by it, because I mean, it was so bad that everybody actually remembered it back to that time. So yeah.
So, me as a counselor, what would you say about Ariel's encounter?
It was very easy for Ariel and his peers to make fun of this young man because he was from a different social group as them, so they had no problem at laughing at him.
Okay. Well, Rihanna, since you have been a victim, just tell me about your personal experience being cyberbullied.
Well, like I said before, that experience really created a deep mark for me, and it took a really long time for me to get over it, and I didn't know how,
Mhm.
so I just distanced myself from everyone until one day I said, you know what, it really doesn't make sense you shut yourself out from the world. Life is going by quickly, and I would just like to encourage all persons being cyberbullied to speak out. Don't let bullies like Ariel um, continue to suppress you and keep you from doing what you want to do.
Okay, so Rihanna made a very good point. For those of you who are out there and you're being bullied, reach out to a friend who you can trust. Go to your school counselors if you have one, because it's your cyberbullying. You can't go to school, you can't go online, you can't associate with your normal friends or groups. So seek help with somebody like myself or somebody who can give you further information on how to deal with the issue.
Well, from what I gathered here today, in terms of ways to prevent cyberbullying, I would firstly say you need to educate yourself about cyberbullying. You need to safeguard your password and private information. Also, log out of any online accounts. For example, you're using it in a public zone. Do not post anything that would be compromising to you or any of your peers. And lastly, as you're doing now, we need to raise awareness about the situation. So, thank you guys for being a part of my talk show. And thanks once again. This is the Mandy Show.